So I turn off all the firewalls. Well, what is that? Actually drive. Yeah.
Well, live from Sunnyland Park in beautiful downtown Daytona Beach, Florida, it's time for the series finale of this SWAC softball contest featuring the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats and the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. Hello and a very warm welcome. My name is Michael Javillo. Happy to have your company. Henson White joins me fieldside here at Sunnyland Park as the Wildcats try to complete a 3-game sweep of Alabama A&M. Yesterday, the offense was out for the Wildcats as they won 9-2 and 12-4 in 2 contests.
Yeah, but a great offensive performance from the Wildcats the entire day, really. The only thing that you could really point out being a negative for the Wildcats was on the defensive side was a couple of errors in that, especially in that second game, just kind of made the game last longer than it probably would have otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, you make 6 errors in a game, even if you win 9-2, right?
Yeah.
It kind of sours it a little bit. Thankfully, second game of the doubleheader, they came back. They didn't make any errors and got some very clutch relief pitching from freshman Sophia Coleman when it looked like the game might be close. It was 5-4 at one point. Coleman came in, shut it down, and then the offense went to work.
Yep. Did a great job to the freshman out of the pen. Was in a bases loaded situation, hit a batter, and then immediately got out of that jam, and then had the first 1, 2, 3 innings since the first game of that doubleheader. So did a great job there, and then locked it down for the Wildcats. And they're gonna look for more clutch pitching today out of starter Gonzalez.
Aileen Gonzalez, the preseason SWAC pitcher of the year, stands into the circle. She'll face the top hitter for Alabama A&M, Dakota Daniel. And away we go. First pitch right at a lefty, and it's a ball outside. Daniel hitting .485, 9 runs on 27 hits, 2 doubles, 2 triples, and 6 RBIs. Gonzalez, the pitcher, rocks and deals the 1-0. That's slapped towards third and through for a base hit. So Dakota Daniel picks up right where she left off yesterday.
Yep. Dakota Daniels has been really good offensively for the Bulldogs. Has been a danger woman every time she stepped up to the plate. Hasn't had a ton to do defensively in center field, not for lack of offense, but just the ball hasn't really been hit over to her all that much.
Here's Allison Riches, the sophomore, batting .297. First pitch from Gonzalez. She bunts it to the left-hand side and a catch! Diving catch! Throw to first! Double play! Fire me up, Shania Owens! A diving catch at third, and the awareness to throw to first to complete the twin-killing 2 outs.
A great grab off the bunt, just got a little bit too much air on it. She's able to dive and catch it, and Dakota Daniels kind of stuck in no woman's land and just kind of has to run back to first and does not make it in time.
And now here's Madison Murray, fouls the first pitch off. The Wildcats got some spectacular defense yesterday, specifically from Thais Uyema behind the plate with a great diving grab. And also, Callie Erlington at first base with a couple of nice plays. Here's the 0-1. Is a ball outside to Madison Murray, the catcher, a senior batting .290. 4 runs on 9 hits, 3 doubles, 7 RBIs. And after that double play by the Wildcats, the bases are empty with 2 down. 1-1 in the dirt.
And we saw both teams struggle with 2 outs, in both games, really, even though the Wildcats did, win that game by a lot. A lot of that work was done with 2 outs, and the Bulldogs got a lot of work done as well with 2 outs. So
2-1. Here's a fastball strike. 2-2. Yeah. Umpires today behind the plate, Peter DeRozan. At first base, Charles Smith. And at third base, Bo Drury. Completing the rotation from yesterday. 2-2, 2 down. And the top of the first, and Gonzalez deals. Swing and a miss. Got it with the rise ball. So the opening base hit comes to nothing for Alabama A&M. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. And we go to the bottom of the first. No score here on the Cat Eye Network. Bottom of the first we go after the Wildcats defense held the Alabama A&M Bulldogs to nothing in the first. It'll be Essence Gibbs to lead off. Gibbs, a junior, batting .262 and had an on-base percentage of 1,000 yesterday. 8 plate appearances, 8 times on base for Essence Gibbs. And she will face Sydney Hall, the right-hand pitcher, first pitch of ball. Hall, a senior out of Ardmore, Alabama. She's 0-6. In 31 innings pitched, she's given up 69 runs on 71 hits, striking out 28, walking 27. Second pitch, also a ball downstairs, 2-0. Her ERA is 10.84. Her batting average against 4.36. So statistically, a chance for the Cats to continue their hot offense from earlier in the weekend. There's a strike, 2-1.
Yeah, but a different pitcher here. Sydney Hall, haven't seen her all weekend. 10.84 ERA does the senior have. No, given no wins in games that
Ball low, 3-1. Yeah, and it's tough, right? Coming in. Her appearances this year, if my stats page will load. Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, Howard, Maryland Eastern Shore. There's a strike, and it's 3-2. And then all conference games apart from that. Appeared twice against Bethune-Cookman in the series in Huntsville earlier this year. What a complete game. Gave up 10 runs on 11 hits. Chopped foul straight at home plate by Essence Gibbs. We'll see the 3-2 again. And then in her second appearance of the weekend, gave up 8 runs on 10 hits in just 3 innings in the Sunday game.
just hasn't been her day against these Wildcats.
3-2. Gibbs watches one low, ball 4, and the Wildcats have the leadoff player aboard.
Back to her stats on Raw. As I said, total appearances, 6 starts, 2 complete games, one being that game you mentioned against the Wildcats. Only 31 innings pitched, giving up 71 hits, 69 runs, 48 earned, 27 walks to 28 strikeouts, and allowing a 436 batting average and having 7 wild pitches, no hit pitchers, and no balks.
Jocelyn Davis digs in, takes a ball. Davis, a senior, batting .278. 25 runs on 25 hits, no extra base hits, and 8 RBIs for Davis. And the 1-0 from Hall. It's bunted to the third baseman. Fields and fires. Does Katie Puckett for out number 1. That does move the runner across. And we saw the Wildcats do that pretty much every time yesterday. If they got the leadoff woman aboard, it was automatically a bunt to try and move her over. And here is Jessica Alon, who was the hero of game number 1 yesterday, hit a 2-run double to really break the game open in the third inning. Alon, the first righty that Hall will face. Righty to righty, smack toward first, and down the line, just foul.
Good contact on it, just careens off to the right a little bit too much.
That's almost exactly where she placed that RBI double yesterday, right down the first base line. She is aiming right over the head of Caden Swoops at first base. Swoops has had an adventurous weekend. Didn't start the first game. Came in to pinch hit and had a 2-run double. They were the only 2 runs that Alabama A&M had in game number 1. Then started the second game in left field. Had another good offensive game. She's in the lineup again in game 3, but at first base. Fouled away by Davis. Alon, and it's 0-2. 0-2 to Alon, who's batting .321, 13 runs on 36 hits, 10 doubles, 21 RBIs. That one's down the first base line and fair and into the corner. Scoring from second is Essence Gibbs, and it's 1-0 Wildcats.
And picking up right where they left off immediately. in the first inning, getting that run across and keeping the offense going that we saw in that first 2 games of this
I mean, and it's
doubleheader
I
weekend.
mean, and it's deja vu, right? Essence Gibbs opposite field against the right-hand pitcher down the first base line. Correction, Jessica Lon, my apologies. Here's Brooklyn Scott. Another righty-to-righty matchup. Scott smacks it up the middle, past the diving glove for a base hit. So runners will be on first and second with 1 out.
Pass the diving glove, but she does a good job, I think, of recovering with her other hand to block it from going past her, and then gets it over to second, stopping the runner from possibly getting a third on that.
Yeah, nice defensive play at second by Faith Cross, who dove, missed it with the glove, and as you said, picked it up with her offhand. It was a pretty slow roller. First pitch, a strike now to Callie Erlington. Erlington is sophomore batting .267, 2 on 1 out here in the first. And the pitch. They in there for a strike. So 2 pitches right in the exact same spot, right at the waist. And it's 0-2 on Erlington. Erlington has 9 runs on 16 hits, 3 doubles, a triple, and 16 RBIs. That one triple was yesterday. Check swing, ball 1 upstairs. She hit the game-ending, bases clearing triple to walk it off yesterday against Alabama A&M in Game 2.
Yep.
Smacked one deep to right field.
That's a 2 walks. Did a great job there.
Upstairs, 2-2.
And has the opportunity to do something similar here. And to her credit, Hall has gotten a lot of favorable counts early in this game.
2-2. Upstairs, 3-2. But has also not used those favorable counts to her advantage. Walked Gibbs, who eventually came around to score. And has not gotten anybody down on strikes yet. Now the 3-2. Ground ball towards third and foul.
Just hasn't been able to put hitters away. And that's one of the most annoying, frustrating things as a pitcher is getting those favorable counts, those 0-2s, those 1-2 counts, and ending up in 3-2s and 2-2s and favorable hitters counts, or at least situations where now these runners might leave early and just cause you all sorts of problems on the base paths.
First and second, full count, 1 down, bottom of the first. Upstairs, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Second walk of the inning by Sydney Hall. So Alon goes to third, Brooklyn Scott to second, Erlington on first, and here is Brianna Velasquez. Velasquez, who takes a first pitch low ball 1, is hitting .316, 20 runs on 30 hits, 8 doubles and 15 RBIs for Velasquez. Ball inside 2-0. Struggled a little bit yesterday, Brianna. Yeah. Was the only Wildcat to not reach base in game number 2. But she's in a favorable count here, 2-1. With the bases loaded, and she hits one high in the air to right. Moving over is Canada. She makes the catch. They go to second, safe as everybody moves up. So Alon scores from third. Scott goes to third. Erlington to second on the sac fly, and it's 2-0 Wildcats.
Doesn't reach base, but gets an RBI on the sac fly. And I almost was worried a little bit that runner at first didn't touch first to tag up, but I mean, obviously she did. They didn't throw to first base.
And it was a decently close play at second as well. Nice slide by Erlington to get around the tag. First pitch swinging and a pop-up to shallow center. And the ball is caught. That was off the bat of Shania Owens, and that's the end of the inning. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left. And we go to the second inning of play, 2-0 Wildcats here on the Cat Eye Network. To the second inning we go. 2-0 Bethune-Cookman. After a technical 1-2-3 inning in the first, there was a hit, but a double play as well. And Faith Cross, the second baseman, will lead off for the Bulldogs, the right-hand hitter against Haylene Gonzalez. Cross, a senior, batting .275. Here's the first pitch. And it's upstairs, ball one. In 40 at-bats, Cross has 9 runs on 11 hits, 3 doubles, a triple, and 5 RBI. And has also had a bit of an adventurous weekend defensively. She was at second base for the first game yesterday. They moved her to third after Katie Puckett at third missed a couple of chances to make plays. She did pretty well at third, but they have moved her back to second for this third game of the series. Pitching the dirt 2-1.
Yeah, but one thing I do think is interesting is that Haylene Gonzalez obviously pitched the first game of this series, and now it's pitching the next day on basically a game rest.
Softball, here's that pop up into right field.
Great catch.
Essence Gibbs makes the catch, one down, but softball is a lot less stressful, especially on the elbow, than pitching overhand like baseball is. So you see a lot of softball teams, especially at the college level, that can ride one or two arms, 2 deep tournament runs. I remember a couple of years ago, James Madison went all the way to the Women's College World Series, basically on the backs of one pitcher.
And we do see, even in baseball, players that pitchers that have that lower release angle have less stress on that UCL area, that doesn't need a Tommy John surgery as often or need as much rest. Logan Webb is a great example. Hasn't had a heavy injury history with his submarine style.
Katie Puckett lines one foul outside of first. The count is 1-1. Puckett, a junior batting .284, has 7 runs on 21 hits, 7 doubles, a team high, 1 triple, and 9 RBIs, getting on base a .346. And the 1-1. Breaking ball, hit on the ground to third. Nice snag and play ever at third base by Shania Owens, and there's 2 down. That's the second really nice play that Owens has made in the game. Had that spectacular dive and then throw to first to complete the double play to get out of the first inning. Now with nobody on and 2 down, here's Zyra Jones. Her first pitch is a swing and a foul back. Jones, a sophomore, batting .174. 7 runs on 8 hits, a double, a triple, a team high 2 homers. In fact, the only 2 homers that the Bulldogs have this year. And 13 RBI. Also a team high. 0-1 from Gonzalez. Upstairs 1-1.
And so far in this game, the Wildcats have been a lot. Not that they were bad defensively in that second game, but that first game was a little bit of a struggle. And they've been a lot better all around. And that's part of the reason they've been able to this point, kind of cruise through the first batters for Alabama A&M. Outside of, obviously, Dakota Daniel, no one's really done much.
There's been some contact, but it's all been right at fielders, easy pop-ups, ground outs. The 2-1 from Gonzalez is low, 3-1. We saw Haylene struggle with some walk issues in game number 1 yesterday. The Bulldogs left 9 runners on base in that contest. 3-1. Breaking ball misses inside. And the second base runner of the game for the Bulldogs comes via the walk. Zyra Jones is on base, and here's Ayanna Canada. And there'll already be a meeting on the mound between pitcher Haylene Gonzalez, catcher Tai Suyama, and assistant coach Abby Cheek.
She walked out with a purpose to the mound.
And as I mentioned yesterday, the drop-off to the back half of this Alabama A&M lineup, especially in batting averages, is pretty steep, right? You got at the top 485, 297, 290, 275. That's, decent top of the order. You get to the bottom, starting with Zyra Jones, 174, 185, 125, and 167. Your bottom 5 hitters for the season. So 2 outs and a runner on. Here is Ayanna Canada hitting 185, the freshman. And the first pitch from Gonzalez is a swing and a miss. 0-1. Rest of Canada's numbers. She's got 8 runs on 12 hits, a double, a triple, and 7 ribbies. On base percentage of .209. The 0-1 popped up on the infield left-hand side. The shortstop gloves it. That's Brianna Velasquez, and the Wildcats get out of the inning. No runs, no hits, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the second. 2-0 Wildcats on Cat Eye Network Radio. Wildcats looking to improve on their 2-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the second. It'll be the catcher, Thais Uyema, who wowed us with her defense yesterday in foul territory. A couple of spectacular catches, but she lines one to center field for a base hit, first pitch swinging. Uyema offensively also had a big double yesterday. It was the one big hit the Wildcats really didn't capitalize on, because it was the only hit of that particular inning. Rocket double to right center. And now here's the 9-hole hitter, Joyce Bloom. Swing and a miss at the first pitch. And it's 0-1. Bloom, a junior, batting .247, 14 runs on 23 hits, 10 RBI. With Uyema on first after her leadoff single. She squares to bunt. Pitch goes low. And something the Wildcats do when they're on the base paths is, especially when they're trying to set up that sack bunt, as Bloom is now, Uyema on first will kind of sit halfway between first and second, kind of daring the catcher to throw over there. First, here's the pitch. Squares to bunt. She missed it. They throw back to first, and safe is Uyema.
And that's the danger of kind of playing with, towing with catchers and stuff, that they can make that throw over. And especially if you make the wrong calculation, if you think, oh, okay, they're going to throw over to second as the pitch comes in.
It's low. Runner goes. Here's the throw to second. It is offline. It actually hits Uyema and rolls into left field. So Thais will head to third.
And I do want to point out, I pointed that out last game, for both games. When Alabama A&M sets up for the sack bunt defense, they pull all of their infielders in And what ends up happening is the shortstop and the second baseman are both not covering second. So the person who has to come over basically is the center fielder. And if that throw is messed up at all, it ends up getting into the outfield.
That throw was offline to the right and hit Uyema as she was streaking towards second. The 1-2 is low. And it's 2-2. They check over to the third base umpire to see if Joyce Bloom went. She did not. So the count is 2-2 with now Uyema on third after the steal. And 2 down. Pitch. Ball outside 3-2. Sydney Hall thought differently. She thought that should have been strike 3.
Yep. And of course, her bench is going to back her up on that.
Full count. Bloom swings and misses, and there's out number 1. First strikeout of the game for Sydney Hall, her 29th of the season.
Yeah. Didn't work out that at bat. Couldn't get contact on any of her slap attempts and just ends up walking back to the dugout, not on base.
Now here's Essence Gibbs looking to continue her perfect on-base percentage for the weekend. And first pitch strike. The board says 2 outs. There's only 1 away.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why the board says there are 2 outs. There's first pitch or second pitch to Gibbs is upstairs 1-1. Wildcats already up 2-0 after plating 2 in the first. Essence Gibbs, one of those players that came around to score after a inning opening walk. The 1-1, Gibbs slaps it foul into the Bethune-Cookman dugout on the third base side, and it's 1-2.
To the dugout, almost hitting our friends up in the booth out here at Sunnyland Park.
The Wildcats will want to keep scoring runs here, even though they've got the lead already. Gibbs watches one high, 2-2, because you know that this Alabama A&M team can hit. They scored 6 runs across the 2 games yesterday. And a couple of deep drives into the outfield. 2-2. Chop right back to the pitcher. Nice snag by Sydney. She flips to first for out number 3.
Strikeout.
No runs, no hits, and 1 left. Sorry, no runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We go to the third inning of play. It's 2-0 Cats here on the Cat Eye Network. We go to the top of the third, and in between innings, we're talking to the home plate umpire, and he said that the reason that there were 2 outs on the board is that Thais Uyema left early on her steal attempt and therefore was called out. First pitch, swinging strike to Kaiden Swoops. So we apologize. We completely missed that one.
Yep.
Swoops playing first base today. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss at a fastball, and it's 0-2. Swoops only starting her 3rd game of the season. 8 at-bats, a run on 1 hit. It was a double and had 2 RBIs, both yesterday. Upstairs, 1-2.
A little upstairs, and we've seen this in a lot of these 0-2 counts that pitchers have gotten themselves into in all the games, Gonzalez included, is they'll get an 0-2 count and then they'll try to bite around the edge of the zone, try to get somebody to chase, and just end up getting into a 3-2 count and sometimes walking the batter.
There's a swing and a miss. That time, a nice adjustment by Gonzalez as she attacks, swoops on the outside corner, and gets her second strikeout of the game.
Shut me right up.
She heard you.
Yep.
Well, I'm
I mean,
sure
she could, in theory.
Yeah, well, and I'm sure that's what, after her walk in the last inning to Zyra Jones, there was a meeting on the mound. First pitch outside to Hickey, who's a junior batting 167. I'm sure that's what the pitching coach told her when she went out to talk. Is don't be lax about trying to finish batters off. Here's a 1-0. Swing and a miss. Foul tipped into the glove. And it's 1-1. On the season, Helene Gonzalez, we talk so much about strikeout to walk ratio, 103 strikeouts to 43 walks. Of course, she walked 4 yesterday.
Yeah. Tad unusual for her.
But did strike out 5. 2-1 the count to Hickey. And the pitch. High drive, left field, but not deep. Coming in to make the catch is Brooklyn Scott, and there's 2 away. So once again, the contact that Alabama A&M is getting is not really threatening. The only one that's had any sort of decent contact is Dakota Daniel, who bats now as we're back to the top of the order, singled through the left side. Her first time up. Nobody on, 2 outs. And she looks at a ball outside. Daniels, as I mentioned, batting a staggering .485. And she watches a strike down the middle, and it's 1-1. She leads the SWAC in batting average. Kendall Smiley of Alabama State is second with a .407 as the pitch goes low, 2-1. And Callan Massey of Prairie View A&M is third with 400 even.
Yep.
Two-one from Gonzalez. Is slapped towards third. Another nice play over at third by Shania Owens as she scoops it across and fires to end the inning. No runs, no hits, none left. And we go to the bottom of the third. Still 2-0 Cats here on Cat Eye Network Radio. Jocelyn Davis leads off the bottom of the third for Bethune-Cookman, trying to improve on this 2-0 lead. Davis had a sacrifice bunt her first time up that moved Essence Gibbs over. she was able to eventually score on the single by Alon for the opening run. And then Alon came around to score herself on the sac fly by Brianna Velasquez. First pitch to her is a strike, and it's 0-1. Wildcats wrapping up this series here at Sunnyland Park. They'll have one more home conference series, as that's a pitch outside, 1-1. Against Mississippi Valley State, April 26th and 27th. And then they'll wrap up the home schedule with a non-conference doubleheader against Jacksonville on the 30th. That one's hit in the air, left side, and will be foul. Again, down the left field line is hard for us to see because the press box is in our way. We just kind of have to watch the umpires and the players' reactions to see what happens down there. Count is 1-2 on Davis. Opening batter of the bottom of the third. And she hits this one, fair territory, and diving catch is made in left field by Allison Riches. So the first real spectacular defensive play we've seen by Alabama A&M in the game goes against Jocelyn Davis. And now here's Jessica Olan, who had an RBI single her first time.
Yeah.
First pitch to it, ground ball up the middle. It diving stop, and an event. Oh, no, it gets under the glove of Faith Cross into the right field for a base hit. I thought Cross had that covered.
Not for lack of trying from Faith Cross, who lays out for it, and it ends up just bouncing unluckily straight under her before she lands fully.
Well, Sydney Hall, after a rough first inning, is settled in. Had gotten 4 straight outs before that Alon single. Now here's Brooklyn Scott, who also singled her first time up. She watches a pitch low, ball 1. Sandwiched in the middle between now and that last conference series against Mississippi Valley, the Wildcats will go on the road at Alabama State. 1-0. Ground ball towards third. On to first for the outs. A nice stab by Puckett. And there's 2 away. That'll bring up Callie Earlington, who walked her first time and ended up stranded on second. But they'll go to Alabama State, which is a really important series because these two teams sit lockstep with each other in the SWAC standings. First pitch a strike to Earlington. Bethune-Cookman 11-6 in conference. Alabama State 9-7. That's 3-4 in the SWAC. There's a strike. 0-2 to Earlington. SWAC conference standings: Florida A&M, after taking game 1 against Jackson State in a matchup of the top 2 teams yesterday, leads with a 13-3 record in conference. The 0-1 bounce to the plate. Runner will go to third. No throw. So that'll be Alon to third on a wild pitch.
And now a hit anywhere scores Alon.
With how quick Alon is, she probably could score from second on pretty much anything past the infield. But now it might be a certainty. The 1-2, swinging a grounder towards short. Fielded by Hickey, and the throw gets away from the first baseman and into the Alabama A&M dugouts. So that'll score the run. It's an error on Hickey for a wild throw. 3-0 Wildcats, as Earlington will end up on second. Sometimes Wildcats just have to take what they can get. They did right there.
Sometimes better to be lucky than good, and just works out there.
Here's Brianna Velasquez, who flied out to right her first time up, but did get the RBI as Jessica Lawn tagged and scored. And she's got Earlington in scoring position with 2 down. 0-1 In the air to center field. Going back, Daniels. She makes the catch. And that'll end the inning. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 left. And we go to the 4th inning of play. Wildcats extend their lead to 3-0 here on the Cat Eye Network. To the 4th we go. Wildcats have given Haley Gonzalez some run support. It is 3-0 as Allison Riches stands in. With her at bat in the top of the 1st, the Wildcats had their standout defensive moment of the game thus far. Here's the first pitch to her. And she hits it high in the air, left field line, into foul territory and out of play for strike 1. She tried to bunt Dakota Daniel over to second, ended up popping it up. Shania Owens came in from third, dove and made the catch, and then eventually threw over to first to complete the double play. Here's the 0-1. Outside 1-1. Let's continue our thread about the SWAC standings from last inning. Florida A&M first at 13-3. Jackson State second, 11-4. Bethune-Cookman third at 11-6. Now, they may have the same number of wins. Jackson State does have 2 games in hand over the Wildcats. The 1-1 in there for a strike 1 and 2. And also because Jackson State swept Bethune-Cookman in their last series, they have the tiebreaker. So it would take a good close from the Wildcats and a poor close from Jackson State for Bethune-Cookman to think about getting that second seed. But it is still mathematically possible.
Yeah.
Popped high in the air, foul, straight back. Below Bethune-Cookman, Alabama State is 9-7. Alabama A&M is 3-14, and Mississippi Valley 1-15.
Yeah.
1-2 upstairs, 2-2 to Riches. On the western side, Prairie View A&M is probably favored to win the whole thing. They are 14-1. Southern is second at 9-7. Arkansas Pine Bluff at 6-5. Texas Southern 6-6. The 2-2 hit in the air to center field and deep. Going back is Davis, and she squeezes it to make the grab 2 steps shy of the warning track.
Yeah, great catch from her. Made that look simple.
That will bring up Madison Murray, who struck out to end the first time up. Bottom of the Western Conference, Grambling State is 4-10. Alcorn State, is 12-2. Ground ball past the third baseman and into left field. That's first pitch swinging for Madison Murray. Oh, excuse me, Faith Cross. No, I'm right. Madison Murray.
Don't second guess yourself.
So Riches fly to center. Murray singled to left. And now it's Faith Cross who fly to right her first time up. That was the lead off the second. Runner on, 1 out here in the 4th. She squares to bunt. Pulls it back, pitches a strike, and it's 0-1.
Yep, and due to this bunt defense that the Wildcats are running now, the second baseman has to cover first, resulting in the shortstop pulling over to cover second, and the center fielder look like comes down to cover.
That time, Cross swings away, fouls it straight back, and it's 0-2.
And she was looking to put it over the first baseman, trying to put it over that on that right foul line in that corner.
If the corner infielders play tight defense, the best way to get a hit is lift it over one of their heads. 0-2. Upstairs 1-2. Upstairs 1-2. It's an early morning for all of us here on the Cat Eye Network. Earlier start than we usually have at 10 a.m. first pitch this morning Eastern Time. We appreciate all of you joining us if you're listening in from Alabama and Central Time. Here's the 1-2. Fouled away, we'll do it again. But once again, like the baseball side, top 4 in each conference make the SWAC tournament. So in the East, the top 4 have pretty much been decided. FAMU, Jackson State, Bethune-Cookman, and Alabama State. Alabama A&M still has a mathematical shot, but they would have to win out. 1-2. Popped sky high to shallow right. Essence Gibbs tracks it and squeezes it for out number 2. So Aileen Gonzalez has got the benefit of a couple flyouts.
Yeah.
And now there's 2 away with 1 on for Katie Puckett, who grounded out to third her first time up. First pitch away outside, ball 1. Results of the SWAC from yesterday, obviously Bethune-Cookman swept the doubleheader here 9-2 and 12-4. In the battle of the Eastern Conference's top 2 teams, Florida A&M beat Jackson State 2-0. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Sorry, 1-1 now. With 2 outs. Prairie View A&M continued their amazing season with a 7-2 win over Southern, and Alabama State beat Mississippi Valley 5-1. 1-1 the pitch. Fouled away 1-2. And with Bethune-Cookman playing Mississippi Valley and Alabama State in their last 2 series, it's really important to win this one because Alabama State is favored to win the doubleheader today against Valley and then would have a sweep, kind of clip the Wildcats' heels for third place in the standings. So it's all very tight except for Florida A&M at the top. Count is 1-2 on Katie Puckett with Murray on first and 2 outs.
It's been 1-2 for a while. Puckett's just been playing good defense in terms of not striking out, fouled off a lot of stuff. And this at bat.
Gonzalez leans in and fires. Outside 2-2. Waits to pitch in the opposite batter's box. Thais Uyema doing a nice job behind the plate of not letting anything go to the backstop.
I think she was looking to try to see if she would chase in just pure defense mode, try to get it overextend on something and miss.
2-2. Upstairs 3-2. And you talked about nibbling at the corners of the strike zone when you're up in the count, and it resulting in situations like this where you kind of have to throw a strike. The full count delivery by Haleen. Fouled away again. And we'll do the 3-2 again. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat upcoming.
Not an easy out.
As Puckett has battled here, trying to keep this inning going for Alabama A&M. Full count delivery for the second time. Swing and a hit, foul to the left-hand side. And we'll do it again with the 10th pitch of the at-bat. The battle of attrition continues between pitcher and hitter. Full count delivery. Breaking ball. Ball 4. It was a check swing, but Puckett held it. And now there's 2 on with 2 out. That'll bring up Zyra Jones. Second walk of the game issued by Helene Gonzalez.
Yep, and now runners at first and second with 2 outs.
First pitch to Jones, a strike at the knees. Helene, a junior from Norwalk, California. An all-SWAC first-team performer the last 2 seasons. And the SWAC preseason pitcher of the year. Fires upstairs 1-1. Has done a yeoman's work this season. 133 and 2/3 innings coming into today.
That's a ton of work.
Time called by Thais Uyema. And we'll once again have a meeting on the mound. As the pitching coach, Abby Cheek, will walk out there. Baseball up in Alabama this week against Alabama State. Unfortunately, dropped their first matchup last night, 6-5. We'll look to recover this evening. Abby Cheek, who is a fresh assistant coach on this staff this year, out talking to Helene Gonzalez. Standout performer at the University of Kentucky, was the NFCA Player of the Year and SEC Player of the Year back in 2019, and also has played some professional softball.
Yeah.
1 ball and 1 strike to count to Zyra Jones. Murray's on second. Puckett's on first. There are 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Gonzalez deals. And she hit her. And the bases are loaded. So Murray goes to third, Puckett to second. Jones on first with a hit by pitch. And here we go again.
Yep.
Bulldogs loaded the bases twice in game number 1 yesterday and ended up only scoring 2 runs.
This could be a tough situation right here. It's really going to dictate probably the result of this game, depending on how many runs Alabama can push across. The go-ahead run at the plate and the tying run at first.
Here's Ayana Canada, the right fielder who popped out on the infield to shortstop to end the second inning in her first plate appearance. On the season, she's batting 185. First pitch to her, swing and a miss, and a fastball upstairs.
So that was at her shoulders. I think she just wanted to put some in play to try to get a run across, and now puts herself down 0-1.
0-1. In there for a strike on the outside corner, 0-2. That's a great pitch from Gonzalez.
Yeah. And now just put some, leave it low in the zone. You don't want anything she can hit up. The worst case you want here is soft contact.
0-2. Gonzalez, the pitch is slapped towards second. This will be a tough play. And they got her at first. What a play at second by Jessica Alon, sprinting in, barehanding the ball, and flipping it underhand to first base to get the final out of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, and the bases left loaded for Alabama A&M. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Still 3-0 Wildcats here on Cat Eye Network Radio. Shania Owens will lead off for Bethune-Cookman here in the fourth. Their 3-0 lead protected by a nice bit of defense to get out of a bases-loaded jam in the top of the inning. Sydney Hall back on the pitcher's circle for Alabama A&M. The first pitch as Owens squares to bunt is a strike. Count 0-1. Owens flew out to center to end the first and strand 2 runners on for the Wildcats. And Sydney Hall's 0-1 is smacked into left center, and it's going to be caught on the move by Allison Richards.
And compared, if you were listening to our call of those first 2 games in this doubleheader, we've been kind of cruising already at the bottom of the fourth.
Yeah, we have. I mean, not a lot of offense, 3-0. Of course, all in all, yesterday, 9 runs by BCU in the first game, 12 in the second. First pitch, a ball outside to Thais Uyema, who singled to the left-hand side. We thought she stole second, but it was a left early call by the first base umpire to get her out. She grounds it towards third and through for a base hit past the diving glove of Puckett. So Uyema, 2 singles in 2 plate appearances. And really, Uyema has been the bright spot at the bottom of this order this weekend. Because in game number 2, of course, the Wildcats scored 14 runs, 10 of them by the top 4 batters in the order.
Yep.
First pitch, a swing and miss by Joyce Bloom. She struck out her first time up. And the second pitch is upstairs, 1-1, as we have a train going by the field. Not unique to us. I was watching Texas A&M baseball last night. They have a train track that goes by the outfield of their ballpark. There's a strike, and it's 1-2. Somebody hit a home run, a deep bomb for the Aggies last night, and it almost hit the train as it was going by. Hall's 1-2 to Bloom. He is low 2-2.
Sounds like a stage hazard in like a Mario baseball game.
Well, that would be if the train was in the field of play. Yes.
Shout out Mario Super Sluggers.
Now, we get a Mario Super Sluggers reference on a Saturday morning. There's strike 3. As Bloom watches it go, her second strikeout of the game. The only 2 strikeouts that Sydney Hall has have both come against Bloom, and there's 2 down back to the top of the order for Essence Gibbs.
Yep, whatever the plan was to attack Bloom has really worked, especially compared to how often she got on base in that first outing and was able to cause havoc on the base paths.
First pitch to Gibbs, upstairs, ball 1.
Especially with Essence Gibbs, who was, as you said, had 1,000% hitting on base percentage, getting on base every time she could.
Until the second, where she grounded out to the pitcher to end the inning. Runner goes. It's a hit and run. Chop toward third. And the play is made, and that's be the end of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. And once again, Thais Uyema cannot capitalize on her single. And we go to the 5th. 3-0 Wildcats on Cat Eye Network Radio. as we head to the top of the fifth, Wildcats 9 outs away from a series sweep defensively. First pitch outside to a pinch hitter, Susanna Cruitt, batting in the 8th spot. Aileen Gonzalez still on the hill for Bethune-Cookman. Here's the pitch. Fouled away, 1-1. Cruitt, a junior from Ardmore, Alabama, listed as a pitcher, but did hit yesterday in a couple of spots. 1-1. Fouled away again, 1-2. Pitched or hit twice yesterday. In 3 at-bats, she didn't get a hit. Didn't get a run. She had 1 hit. 1-2. In the air to shallow center. That'll be a long run, and it drops into no man's land.
Yep.
So leadoff batter aboard for Alabama A&M. Soft little single into shallow center as neither Gibbs, Davis, nor Alon could get to it.
Yeah, it was just put in a perfect spot. Nobody was close enough. Everyone ran for it, but just drops in anyway.
And now the 9-hole hitter, Catherine Hickey, leads in. First pitch to her, bunted straight up. Caught by Gonzalez. Back to first. The ball gets away. Thankfully, Essence Gibbs was right there to back it up to keep Cruitt at first. So Hickey out on a pop-up bunt to the pitcher. We almost saw a repeat of the play in the first inning with the pop-up bunt double play.
And Essence Gibbs is also lucky that Cruitt just wasn't looking or as heads up on that play as you'd want her to be. The ball passes her and she stays at first. And by the time she was gonna get up and try to run for second, Essence had it already corralled and was looking to throw to second.
First pitch, a strike to Dakota Daniel, who singled and was caught in that pop-up bunt double play in the first. Then grounded out to third in the third. Started the third time through the order for Alabama A&M. And Gonzalez is 0-1. Chop foul, third base side, 0-2. Daniels, the top hitter by batting average in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, 458.
And it's another beautiful day for softball.
It is. A little bit cooler than it was yesterday. Temperatures in the mid to high 60s. It was in the mid to high 70s yesterday. But still a perfectly cloudless blue sky. Popped straight up foul over the netting. There is a little bit of wind. This time blowing in from left. Yesterday it was blowing out to center. Gonzalez up 0-2 against Daniel. Waits to pitch in the dirt. They throw to first. The ball goes into center field. Right field. But again, Essence Gibbs is right there to back it up to keep the runner at first. Cruitt holds. That's 2 wild throws to first that Essence Gibbs has been responsible for holding the runner on first. Count is now 1-2 on Daniel. And the pitch popped up, foul territory out of play on the left-hand side. The count holds 1-2.
And that gets fouled out to the street behind us.
Dakota Daniel, the sophomore from Madison, Alabama, out of Clemens High School. Stares down the 1-2 count. Gonzalez deals. Ball outside, 2-2. Last year as a freshman, hit .364 over 8 appearances. And has really taken that next step this year. 2-2. Ground ball towards third, foul. Just outside of the base.
Yeah, but you're nearly hitting 500. I mean, isn't much else you can ask for the player to do
Yeah.
offensively.
And as just a sophomore as well.
Yeah.
It's the kind of numbers that could get you looks from some bigger programs.
Yeah. Only thing you might ask her to do is maybe try to put a little bit more power in her game. No home runs, but if you're that good at getting on base,
I mean, all she does is hit singles through the gaps. Breaking ball comes inside, forces Daniel to duck out of the way, and it's 3-2. Once again, Gonzalez was up 0-2 and has missed on 3 straight. Now it's 3-2. Runner on first, 1 out here in the 5th.
Dakota Daniels that went to the Louisa Rise School of Hitting. Let's hit a bunch of singles, see where that gets you.
3-2. Bounce towards short and bobbled it short. Everybody's safe.
And she hits another single.
Infield hit for Dakota Daniel. 2 on, 1 out now. I'm not sure if they'll credit that an error on Velasquez or not because she bobbled it, or they'll call it a fielder's choice because he tried to get the out at second. We'll see what the official said. The official does say it's fielder's choice, but everybody's safe nonetheless. Cruitt on second, Daniel on first. Here's Allison Riches, and we'll have another meeting on the mound, the third of the game for Bethune-Cookman, as the entire team is huddled around the pitching circle.
And I always feel kind of bad for players when they have those full team huddles, and it's like it's not their fault that something happened. Like sometimes they bring in like a right fielder, and it's like, well, they haven't seen the ball this inning.
It's especially in baseball, right? When the fielders have about twice as far to run to get to the mound. Softball is all pretty compact.
But not a pitching change or anything, just another talking to.
I think they'll just let Haleen ride this one out. First and second, 1 out. Wildcats up 3-0.
Would love another double play here.
Yeah. The batter is Allison Riches, who popped into that double play on a bunt in the first and flied out to center in the fourth. First pitch to her, high, ball 1. For the second straight inning, pressure is on. Bulldogs left the bases loaded in the last inning without scoring a run. The 1-0 from Haleen. Ground ball up the middle. Stepping on second for 1. Back to first, no double play is the second baseman, Jessica Alon.
Quite possibly the unluckiest sharply hit ball humanly possible there. Hits it sharp behind the pitcher, but ends up going straight to the second baseman who catches it on the run, basically on top of second base, and tries to throw it back to first to get the double play, but throws it inaccurately, but not enough for anything else to happen. So now runners at the corners look for a double steal here like the Wildcats like to do.
First pitch is a strike to Madison Murray. So we'll call it another fielder's choice. Cruitt goes to third. Daniel out at second for unassisted. Riches at first. Runners on the corners. 2 down. The 0-1 to Murray is a ball outside 1-1. Murray struck out to end the first and singled down the left field line in the fourth, was stranded on third in the last inning as part of the bases being left loaded for Alabama A&M. Aileen Gonzalez with the 1-1. Ground ball towards third. Stabbed by Davis. She throws across in time. Correction, Shania Owens with another great play to strand runners on. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left. And we go to the bottom of the 5th. Wildcats still up 3-0 despite a couple of defensive challenges for Alabama A&M here on Cata Network Radio. To the bottom of the fifth we go. Wildcats counting both their lucky stars and their excellent infield defense that they're still up 3-0 in this game. Jocelyn Davis will lead off. She's 0 for 2. Sack bunt in the first to move Essence Gibbs up, who eventually scored. Then flied out to left in the third with a terrific diving catch by Allison Riches. First pitch a ball low, and it's 1-0. Davis, one of the top base stealers on this team, one of 3 in the starting lineup today with double-digit steals. Ball low, 2-0. Davis, 10 steals on the year. Essence Gibbs and Joyce Bloom both with 12. 2-0 pitch in the zone from Sydney Hall. 2-1. Elsewhere around the SWAC today, it's doubleheader day in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. A bunt straight in front of the plate, racing to first, and there's no play. A perfect bunt by Jocelyn Davis, and she's aboard.
An elite bunt there. Elite placement. Put it right where nobody could even make a play on it, and gets to first base safely. And now Alon, who's been hot all weekend, really.
She's been hot today. 2 base hits and 2 of the 3 runs for Bethune-Cookman. Singled and scored in the first, singled and scored in the third. First pitch a strike from Sydney Hall. And with Hall's ERA being in double digits at 10.84 coming into the game, she's accounted herself very well and do some soft contact. Has had some good defense behind her. 0-1. Squaring to bunt is Alon, bunts it foul. And it's 0-2. And I think Jessica Alon may be a victim of the aggressive small ball that Coach Laura Watton likes to run here. She's been swinging the bat so well. And she might just have to do the sacrifice bunt thing. No, she smacks this on the ground as short. On to first for the out. Well, it's a sacrifice in a different sort of way. She'll move the runner across with a 6-3, put out. And it'll be Brooklyn Scott with 1 out and Davis on second. Yep. Scott singled in the first, grounded out to third in the third. And the first pitch from Hall is low ball 1. I think the most telling stat about Sydney Hall, looking at her stat line, is no hit by pitches all season. She's thrown 31 innings coming into today. Ball low, 2-0.
Plenty of control out of her. And we've seen that this game as well. Outside of that first inning, has done a good job of settling down, only allowing the 5 hits on 2 strikeouts.
There's a strikeout side corner, 2-1.
And crucially, only 2 walks as well. Alabama A&M had problems with walks in the first 2 games, which against a team that loves to, steal and run around and cause problems on the base paths, makes it a lot easier to deal with them.
The 2-1 is lifted in the air to shallow right. Coming in and making the catch is Ayana Canada, and there's 2 away. So now it's Callie Erlington, who's been on base twice, walked in the first, was stranded on second, and reached on an error by the shortstop in the third. That allowed Jessica Alon to score. She has an RBI today. And she hits one in the air. Foul territory, first base side. That'll hit the top of the dugout. And it's 0-1.
Really loud raindrop for the dugout of Alabama A&M. Now an 0-1 count.
2 outs with Davis on second. There's a strike. And it's 0-2. Davis led off the inning with a bunt single. Then Alon grounded her to second. Scott flied out to right. 0-2. Has to defend, and she does. Fights off a pitch and fouls it off to the left.
Yeah, but basically ends up in at swing contact point was in the other batter box. Just playing a lot of defense there. Just doesn't want to strike out and end the inning with the runner on second. And an 0-2 count.
Hall trying to get out of another inning. Work another quick one here. In the dirt. Nice job behind the plate by Madison Murray to backstop that one. Keep Davis at second. Count is 1-2. Earlington looking for a big hit here. And it's upstairs 2-2. She had the walk-off, quote-unquote, yesterday. Triple to right field that scored 3 runs and eventually made the score 14-4, which activated the run rule. The 2-2. Low 3-2. So
Great eye there.
Sydney Hall, a little bit of Gonzalez syndrome as she had an 0-2 count, and now it's 3-2 count.
Yeah, had an 0-2 count, had her defending, and starts trying to pick away, and now 3-2.
Here's the pitch. Ground ball to third. Gobbled up by Puckett. She'll fire across to end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We go to the 6th inning. It's still 3-0 BCU here on the Cat Eye Network. To the 6th we go. As it has been since the 4th inning, Wildcats still have a 3-0 lead. Faith Cross will lead it off for Alabama A&M. She's flied out twice to right field in the contest. Aileen Gonzalez still on the hill. This will be pitch number 67, and it's fouled straight back. A 1. Slap towards short. Off the glove of Velasquez and into left field. That'll be a base hit. And for the 3rd straight inning, the leadoff batter is on for Alabama A&M. And now here's Katie Puckett. Cross on first after a leadoff single. Nobody out of the inning. Uniform matchup today. Bethune-Cookman, and they're all black with the cat script in white across the front. Sparing to bunt and laying it down right back to the pitcher. They go to second and get the lead runner on to first. Double play! How about a little 1-6-3 action on the DP?
And that's one of the dangers of playing that small ball when the defense knows that it's coming. Everybody was already up there, and the pitcher just turns around, fires it at second. And even if they didn't get the runner at first, you lose the lead runner, which kind of defeats the purpose of bunting.
Had a great heads-up play by Gonzalez to not just autopilot and throw to first. And now there's 2 outs and a first pitch strike to Zyra Jones. So after, you give up the leadoff single, you think, oh no, here we go again. Could be another big threatening inning for Alabama A&M. The double play. And there's quickly 2 outs. Jones swings and misses at an off-speed pitch. And it's 0-2.
As the wind picks up out here at Sunnyland Park.
And it's blowing pretty hard. Now straight in from center. With the wind coming off the ocean. The 0-2 pitch. Gonzalez has this one hammered towards third. Deep in the hole, fielded by the shortstop. Safe. Really close play at first. A nice job by Brianna Velasquez to recover and fire it over. But the speed of Jones gets her there. It's an infield single. And it'll bring up Ayanna Canada, who popped out on the infield to end the second and grounded out to the second baseman to end the fourth.
Wildcats just 4 more outs away.
She squares to bunt, takes a strike. That ground out in the fourth left the bases loaded for Canada. Uniform matchup today, Alabama A&M, gray tops, maroon bottoms, AAMU in maroon across the front. Ground ball to first, Erlington takes it herself to end the inning. No runs, 2 hits, 1 left. And we go to the 6th of the bottom of the 6th. It's 3-0 Wildcats on Cat Eye Network Radio. Bottom of inning number 6 here at Sunnyland Park. This game has progressed pretty rapidly. It's only been an hour and 27 minutes since first pitch.
As the wind picks up again, I mean, this is a beautiful. I might go to the beach after this game.
It is a nice day. I was considering going maybe to the Daytona Tortugas game tonight as they end their first homestand of the season. It'll be Brianna Velasquez to lead it off, and she watches the first pitch low ball 1. Velasquez 0 for 2, fly to right, fly to center in her 2 plate appearances. Wildcats with a 3-0 lead here in the 6th, looking for the series sweep of Alabama A&M for the 2nd time this season. Won all 3 up in Huntsville last month.
And it would be huge for the SWAC softball standings if they could finish this sweep off. And as another ball is thrown, 3-0 count to start this bottom of the 6th inning.
And if you look at those softball standings, right, if Bethune-Cookman wins today, they'll go to 12-6 in the conference. 3-0 count to Velasquez. Here's the pitch by Hall. In the zone for strike 1. The Wildcats would go to 12-6. If Jackson State drops both games of the doubleheader, they would be 11-6 and 6. And there's ball 4. Velasquez walks. So with Jackson State having games in hand, I'm not sure what that would do for the standings, although Wildcats would be up in the win column.
Yeah. I'm assuming it would go by similar rules to European soccer, where it's you hold that spot.
Bunted foul outside of first pitch to Shania Owens.
You hold that spot with the win in hand, and if Jackson State wins out, okay, now they're ahead of you. But if they lose, they stay in that same spot in second.
So the Wildcats still a chance to grab that second seed out of the East away from Jackson State. Of course, Jackson State with tiebreaker over BCU this season. Bunted right back to the mound, throw to first in time. That'll move the runner across to second. Velasquez advances on the sac bunt by Shania Owens.
And I want to point out that that's the third baseman who made that play. Puckett ran from third base, basically, picks up the bunt, throws it at first, and ends up almost in between the playing second by the end of that play.
Yeah, well, she charged in from third and fielded that one almost by the first baseline. They're now 1 away, and the first pitch to Thais Uyema is low. Uyema 2 for 2, 2 hard hit base hits, 1 to left center and 1 to left down the line, but she's been stranded once in the fourth and was called for leaving early on a steal in the second. Fouls one off, 1-1.
Did that hit off the light pole and come back in?
It might have. It is not outside the realm of possibility.
Trick shots were hidden now for the Wildcats, but would love to get some more runs. Haven't pushed any across since early in this one.
1-1 to Uyema. That one's lined foul, third base side.
If this lead holds, obviously they wouldn't have another half inning of offense. The game would just end. Top of the 7th.
Uyema trying to get some insurance with Brianna Velasquez on second. And 1 down here in the 6th.
And a little bit of the opposite of what we saw in that first game, where it felt like every time a player was in scoring position, they would eventually get across.
Uyema hops it up behind second base, reaching for it and missing it is the shortstop, Catherine Hickey. Velasquez is going to go to third, and all the way into second with a double is Thais Uyema.
Great heads-up play from Velasquez at second, waiting for that ball to drop and running over to third.
We'll have a pinch hitter here, Kendall McCauley. So
for
Velasquez at third, Uyema at second after her third hit of the game. And the pitch hitter will be Kendall McCauley, a junior from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Coming in for Bloom, who hasn't had the greatest game.
First pitch to her. Swing and a foul back, and it's 0-1. McCauley on the year actually has a fair bit of time on the pitcher's circle. Has thrown, correction, I'm looking at the wrong bio. McCauley on the season as she watches ball 1 and low, 1-1 the count. Has started 12 games, had 36 at-bats. She's batting .222, 3 runs on 8 hits with 9 RBI. Second and third, 1 down pitch. Swing and a miss. Dropped the sinker right by her, did Sydney Hall. Count is 1-2.
Yeah, but last thing you want is to replicate what Bloom ended up doing, where she struck out in those her earlier at-bats. It might just be a problem.
1-2, outside 2-2.
And the 9-hole in this game. You at least want to put the ball in play somewhere. Could maybe force the run across.
Anything on the outfield grass pretty much scores the run from third. She lines this one to short. It's going to be caught. On the move to her right, Catherine Hickey stretches the arm across. And now there's 2 away, back to the top of the order for Essence Gibbs, who will be pinch hit for by Sierra Clark. Sierra Clark yesterday came in to pinch hit in game number 2 in a similar spot and eventually lined a 2-run single to left field.
Yep.
Velasquez on third, Uyema on second, 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. First pitch 2 or a fastball, low ball 1. Sierra Clark, the senior from Port St. Lucie. And she hits one high in the air, foul out of play first base side. Got a lot of contact on that one, just didn't direct it in the right direction. Last year batted .284 with 2 home runs. This year, as there's a strike, it's 1-2. In 39 at bats, she's batting .410. 1 run on 16 hits, 10 RBI. She's staring down a 1-2 from Sydney Hall. Here's the pitch. Barely foul, tips it back to the screen. It was a riser.
Yeah.
And Clark just about caught up to. We'll do the 1-2 again. And in that pinch hit yesterday, where she got that 2 RBI single, it was a long at bat. Eventually got to a full count. She fouled off a bunch of pitches. 1-2. Gets contact on it, fouls it off again, third base side. That time it was a drop pitch that she barely got the bottom of the bat on. Wildcats up 3-0, looking for some insurance.
Yep. Looking to make it so that this is the last time they have to hit this game.
Sydney Hall trying to get her team a chance in the 7th. 1-2. In the dirt, 2-2. Addison Murray, the catcher, stopped that one with her right leg to prevent it from rolling back to the screen. You know Velasquez on third, attentive to every move of the catcher. The 2-2 pitch. That's smacked into right center and down for a hit. That'll score 2 runs. It's another 2 RBI pitch hit single for Sierra Clark, and the Wildcats go up 5-0.
And pretty much every time Clark has hit that batter's box this weekend has been something good going on. Did a good job in that at bat, fought hard. And then once again, does her job, gets that basically deja vu, 2 RBI single, and gets to sit back down again.
7. So Essence Gibbs will come back in to run at first. And another pinch hitter will be Asia Gonzalez.
With the